And I remember how scared I was in my first professional fights, and everything is possible. And I'm the proof of that. Actually, I would love to make my last fight in Spain in the Bernabeu Stadium. If you have the discipline, if you have the faith, you can move mountains.
From the outside, it looks like a very special time for you right now. But
Yeah.
how is life?
It's great. Life has been treating me great, actually. Yeah, I have gone through difficult moments in my personal life, but everything happens for a reason.
And obviously, we're just weeks away from fight night now. You're in the middle of camp. How's everything going on that side?
Everything is going great. I feel amazing, better than ever, and ready to go, ready to rock and roll.
Now, obviously, this will be your 18th professional fight.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to ask you was how your mentality's changed from all those years ago when you first fought. Do you feel different now?
Oh, I feel completely different. I have learned so many things during this whole path. I feel that I'm way mature. I have way more experience than when I was making my first steps. So, of course, and that's the thing, and that's the good thing about it, right? You have to change, you have to get better, and you have to learn from the whole experiences that you are able to live.
Looking back, how much do you remember about those early fights?
Wow. I remember almost everything, and I remember how scared I was in my first professional fights. But yeah, I have learned so many things. How would I say this? I have learned how to manage the conversation that I have with myself when I'm in the backstage and when you have so many negative thoughts during that time. So I have learned how to manage that and really being able to enjoy the whole process.
Obviously, you're in an elite group of fighters. You're still unbeaten. How much of that comes down to mindset versus ability?
It's the mix of everything. You gotta have a great mentality, and you also have to be someone very skillful inside your profession, right? Because there are a lot of people that are working really hard, that they want to achieve a goal, they want to become the best fighters in the world, and you have that spot. So you are on the target, so on the target of everyone. So yeah.
Now, say that we're a product of our environment, in that circumstances create the person that you are today. How much of the mentality that you have now comes back from your childhood, your early life?
I think that everything that happens in someone's life, it's for a reason. So of course that my environment, the livings that I had since I was a kid, made me the person that I am today and gave me the mentality that I have.
Yeah. And obviously you moved around a lot as a child, and that creates its own challenges, right? It's tough.
Yeah.
Obviously you eventually settled in Spain, and that's become home for you and your family.
Yeah.
How important was that for you in terms of your career and who you've become?
As I said, everything that happened in my life, it happened for a reason. Spain gave me so many great things, and it allowed me to discover things about myself, about my personality. And yeah, of course, it was a very important step in my life. And at the same time, it was like I didn't have that decision when I was a kid to move to Spain, right? My parents took that decision. I was born in Germany, then we moved to Georgia. Then my parents one day decided to go back again in Europe. We had to live without them for 6 or 7 years. And then finally, we had the chance to join them when I was almost 15 years old. So, yeah, everything happens for a reason, and I'm very glad for every living that I had in my childhood.
And 15 years old was when you started a lot of your training, right? That's when you started taking it seriously.
So with mixed martial arts, I started when I was 15 years old. Yeah, and since the first day, I don't know what happened inside myself, but I always wanted to be the best. I think I always had that kind of mentality that if I'm doing something, I want to be the best. And if someone could do it, I also can do it. And if no one did it, I can be the first one to do it.
When did you start to realize that you actually could be the best?
I never really realized it like, oh, I can be the best. I just believed it. There are many people, there are a group of people that they need to see to believe. And I pertenezco. ¿Cómo es pertenezco? I belong to a different type of group. I first of all believe it, and then I see it. Whatever I want in my life, I close my eyes, I start visualizing. I believe that I have it. I just create a plan how to achieve it, and everything is possible. And I'm the proof of that.
How do you look back at that last 10 years, the career that you've had already?
It's been amazing. The whole experience, every details that I remember. I'm so proud of everything that I have done with my people. Yeah.
And obviously, I want to just go back to the night that you became champion for the first time.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that moment?
Wow. So usually when you have a dream, you just visualize it and I don't know, completely different comparing to what you really are going to live. I remember I was dreaming about to become a world champion, and I always imagine it, wow, I don't know, something very special. And I remember the day when I was fighting for the world title. I just wake up in the morning, and it was just a normal morning. I started to look from the window, and I was seeing people driving cars, doing their own things, and I was like, listen, this is just a normal day in my life, but at the same time, it's not a normal day because today I will become a world champion. So it's kind of weird because you have a dream, you want to achieve it, you think that once you achieve it, it's done, that you have done everything in your life. But actually, I remember that when I won the world title and I wake up in the next morning, the first question that I asked to myself, it was, and what now? What I'm doing now? Because I already achieved that dream that I thought that once I achieve it, I'm done.
On to the next one.
Until the next one.
And obviously your next fight is dubbed to be the biggest ever, right? The UFC at the White House. It's never been done before. It might never be done again. But how do you feel about this moment?
First of all, I feel very grateful for the opportunity that I have, that I'm going to fight in the biggest event of sports history. And I feel very grateful and proud about that, and very excited, very excited.
And obviously, you're coming into this after a time away from the octagon. How have you used that time to make sure you're ready for this fight?
All the time that I'm not in a competition, I always try to develop my skills, and not only the skills that I need inside the octagon, but also outside the octagon. Just I want to know myself a little bit better. So this time gave me the opportunity to discover myself from a different perspective, and I have learned many things about myself. And of course, it helps me to be a better version of myself inside the octagon.
If it goes the way you expect and you win?
It will go in the way that I expect.
Have you thought about what might be next?
I don't know. I don't really know. Before, I used to make more predictions about my professional career, like after this fight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But now I'm just trying to enjoy like the present, you know what I mean? I don't like to make plans for the future anymore. I'm like, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Everything that I have is the present, and I just try to enjoy it.
You've got to enjoy the journey, right?
Yeah, the whole journey.
Now, obviously, outside of the octagon, life's just as busy for you, right? You seem to be doing so much stuff. Do you enjoy that part of being an athlete?
I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy everything that happens in my life. I really enjoy it. And as I told you, I'm very grateful for everything that happened, and it's happening in my life.
I want to talk about Richard Mille.
Yeah.
Which is a groundbreaking collaboration, right? What you've done is the first time it's ever happened within your sport.
It's a personal achievement for me.
Definitely.
Definitely it is. When you are a professional athlete and you're talking about brands and all that, of course you want to be associated with the biggest one, with the best ones. And I don't know, there are very few brands that are bigger than Richard Mille. So having that recognition from a brand like Richard Mille that they want to partner with you, it feels amazing.
And it shows that they share your values, right?
Yeah.
You're very similar in terms of your outlook, in terms of what they do as a brand, and what you do as a fighter.
And it means the world to me, actually, that a brand like a Richard Mille wants to work with you. Well, I don't know, crazy things.
Sports World, the magazine, is huge in football, right? I know you're a big football fan. I know you're a Real Madrid fan.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about where that comes from.
Since I was a kid, I don't know, I always liked the values that the team represented. I always had a lot of idols in the team. So, yeah, I always, if you would ask me like, what kind of sport would I do if I wasn't a MMA fighter, I would tell you soccer, because I don't know, I love playing soccer. I love watch it. Yeah, it's a great sport.
So Sergio Ramos has become, a good friend of yours. You've been training with him.
Yeah.
How much do you enjoy that?
Oh, I enjoyed it a lot. I remember when I was a kid, I was watching him playing, and he was my idol. Like, actually, one of my favorite players of all time was Sergio Ramos. And actually, it was so crazy when he called me for the first time, and he told me like, let's hang out, let's do some training together. And I was like, of course, whenever you want. And he came to my house. We did the first training session. We connect in a proper way, and we made a friendship since that moment.
Will he be ringside on fight night?
Probably. He told me that he's coming, so I think he's gonna be there.
And I read as well that you would love to fight at the Bernabeu at some point.
Yeah, I would love it.
Is that still a dream?
That's still a dream, of course. Actually, I would love to make my last fight in Spain in the Bernabeu Stadium. It has been a long time that I didn't fought in Spain, so I want to do it.
That would be the best homecoming of all time.
Wow. Doing my walkout with the mariachis, everyone singing. Wow, that could be crazy.
Now, something I wanted to speak to you about as well is fatherhood. You're a father to three children. How much has that changed your life?
Oh, it changed completely my life, because since you become a father, it's like you start living the life from a different perspective. You feel the responsibility from a different way. It's not anymore only about you. You have different responsibilities, and you want to make your kids be proud about whatever you're doing. So, yeah.
Has that changed the way that you approach a fight?
It changed everything. It changed the way that I approach life.
And you are a role model, not just to them, but to millions of other children around the world, right?
I love it. I love to hear that.
That must be an amazing feeling.
It's an amazing feeling. Actually, it is. And I love every time that a kid comes to me and they tell me like, I'm a huge fan. I love watching your fights. I love this, that. I don't know. It llena mi corazón.
I'll pretend I know what that meant.
Yeah. It fulfills my heart. Yeah.
Now, looking ahead, what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind?
I want to be the example that it doesn't matter where you come from if you know where you're going. That if you have the discipline, if you have the faith, you can move mountains. You know what I mean? This is the kind of example that I want to live.
Delia, thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.